5 names. 5 lives. 1 incredible destiny. Today, we bridge the worlds of the hardwood, the silver screen, and the written word to honor 5 titans who didn't just witness history, they commanded it. Before we unveil the epic journey of these legends, subscribe and hit the bell to join our gallery of greats. The curtain rises now. Jonathan Tier's 10. The world of art and cinema today loses a man who walked the fine line between the visceral shadows of the screen and the luminous warmth of the stage with unparalleled grace. Jonathan Tier's 10 was not just a performer. He was a rare bridge between generations, a man who transformed a fleeting moment of 80s cult fame into a lifelong symphony of creative integrity. Passing into eternity on May 5, 2026, at the age of 60, he leaves behind a legacy defined by a fierce, protective loyalty. The same fire that made his portrayal of Ricky Thomas an immortal anchor for misfits everywhere. From the raw, defiant energy of his youth to the soulful, gravelly melodies of his years with 10 Tiers, Jonathan proved that an artist could be both a guardian of the darkness and a herald of the light. His life was a testament to the belief that our beginnings do not define our boundaries. While the world may have first known him through a scream, they grew to love him through his songs, his poetry, and his profound kindness toward the community that embraced him. He was a father, a poet, and a scream king, who wore his crown with a blue-collar humility, always making time for the fans who found a piece of themselves in his work. As we lower the curtain on this extraordinary journey, we do not just mourn an actor or a musician, we honor a man who remained vibrantly, unapologetically himself until the very end. Though his voice may have reached its final note, the echo of his spirit will forever resonate in the hearts of those he defended on screen and inspired through his music. Rest in peace, Jonathan. The camp is safe, the music is eternal, and your story is now etched in the stars. Jose Piquelin Ortiz. In the sacred history of basketball, few figures loom as large, both in stature and in spirit, as the man they called the Concorde of the Caribbean. Jose Piquelin Ortiz, the legendary center who carried the hopes of Puerto Rico on his broad shoulders for over 2 decades, passed away on May 6, 2026, at the age of 63. His departure marks the end of an era for the sport, leaving behind a legacy that transformed Puerto Rican basketball from a local pastime into a respected force on the global stage. The story of Jose Piquelin Ortiz is the epic of a giant who taught a nation how to reach for the sky, standing as a cultural monument at the intersection of raw power and athletic finesse. The man known as the Concorde of the Caribbean was far more than an athlete. He was a pioneer who shattered glass ceilings as the first Puerto Rican drafted into the NBA. From the rugged courts of Calle to the bright lights of the Utah Jazz and the grand Olympic arenas of Barcelona and Athens, Piquelin played with a fierce dignity that commanded universal respect. His crowning moment on the global stage came in 2004, when he served as the emotional and physical anchor of the Puerto Rican national team that stunned the world by defeating the United States Dream Team, a victory that remains one of the greatest upsets in the annals of sport. In the domestic landscape of Puerto Rico's BSN, he was an immovable force of nature, capturing 8 championships and becoming a statistical titan whose records, including over 5,000 rebounds, may never be eclipsed. Yet, his true legacy is defined by his profound resilience, his ability to navigate immense personal challenges and return to his people not just as a champion, but as a mentor and a teacher. He carried the weight of the Puerto Rican flag with a warrior's resolve and an unyielding smile, proving that true greatness is measured by how one stands back up and lifts others along the way. As we pay tribute to his extraordinary journey, we honor a man whose reach extended far beyond the rim, leaving an indelible mark on the soul of a nation that will forever echo his name whenever a ball hits the hardwood. Rest in peace, Piquelin. The court is quiet now, but your legend is eternal. Jalil Ahmed. The world of journalism and international media today mourns a titan of the press whose career was defined by an uncompromising commitment to the truth. Jalil Ahmed, the veteran journalist, former Reuters bureau chief, and influential editor, passed away on May 6, 2026, at the age of 67. His departure marks the end of a remarkable era for Malaysian and Southeast Asian journalism, leaving behind a legacy built on precision, courage, and the mentorship of a generation of reporters. The landscape of Southeast Asian journalism is forever shaped by the life of Jalil Hamid, a man who believed that the written word was a sacred trust between the reporter and the people. Jalil was a rare breed of journalist who thrived under the high-pressure demands of global newsrooms while maintaining a deep, personal connection to the stories of his homeland. During his legendary tenure at Reuters, he became the authoritative voice of Malaysian affairs, translating complex political and economic upheavals for a global audience with clinical accuracy and profound insight. When he transitioned to lead domestic giants like the New Straits Times and Bernama, he brought with him a world-class standard of integrity, challenging his peers to rise above the noise and report with clarity. His legacy, however, is most vividly seen in the newsrooms across the continent, where hundreds of journalists still carry the lessons he taught them as a mentor and chief. He was a man of quiet authority, respected as much for his sharp editorial instincts as he was for his humility and kindness. Jalil understood that journalism was not just about the first draft of history, but about the moral courage to tell that history accurately, regardless of the consequences. As we honor his memory, we remember a pioneer who stood as a bulwark for truth in an age of misinformation. Jalil Hamid leaves behind a profession that is stronger and more principled because he was a part of it, ensuring that his voice will continue to resonate through every headline that seeks to tell the truth. R.B. Chaudhuri. In the vibrant world of Indian cinema, where stars are born and legends fade, few have mastered the art of storytelling and production with the consistency and heart of R.B. Chaudhuri. The visionary founder of Supergood Films, one of South India's most successful production houses, passed away on May 6, 2026. His departure marks the end of a golden chapter in the Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and Hindi film industries, leaving behind a legacy that transformed the way family dramas and commercial entertainers were perceived by millions. The history of modern Indian cinema is incomplete without the mention of R.B. Chaudhuri, a man who turned movie-making into a celebration of human values and familial bonds. Chaudhuri was a producer who relied more on his gut instinct for a good story than on the glitz of high budgets. In an industry often driven by action and spectacle, he became the ultimate champion of feel-good cinema, proving time and again that a well-told story about love, sacrifice, and the common struggles of life could dominate the box office. His production house, Supergood Films, became a sanctuary for debutante directors and struggling actors, many of whom are now the reigning icons of the silver screen. Beyond the screen, he was a silent philanthropist and a shrewd businessman who understood the pulse of the audience like no other. As we honor his memory, we celebrate a producer who didn't just create movies, but created memories for generations of families to cherish. R.B. Chaudhuri leaves behind a void that no spotlight can fill, yet his spirit lives on in every emotional climax and every heartwarming song that continues to play in the hearts of his audience. Malachi Edwin Vethamani. The literary world and the global Malaysian diaspora today mourn the loss of a profound voice that captured the delicate nuances of identity, heritage, and the unspoken rhythms of life. Malachi Edwin Vethamani, the celebrated poet, academic, and champion of Malaysian English literature, passed away on May 6, 2026, at the age of 71. His departure marks the end of a life dedicated to the beauty of the written word and the empowerment of diverse voices in the post-colonial landscape. The story of Malachi Edwin Vethamani is a lyrical testament to the power of a life lived in service to the imagination. Vethamani was more than just a writer. He was a bridge between the colonial past and a vibrant, independent future. He understood that for a nation to truly know itself, it must first tell its own stories in its own unique tongue. Throughout his decades as an educator and a poet, he fought against the silencing of minority narratives, using his pen to explore the intersections of being Malaysian and Indian with a grace that was both haunting and hopeful. His classrooms were sanctuaries for budding writers, and his poetry served as a map for those navigating the complexities of the modern world. He didn't just write literature. He nurtured a literary ecosystem that will continue to bloom long after his passing. As we honor his memory, we celebrate a man whose legacy is etched not just in the books on our shelves, but in the courage he gave to every student who ever dared to pick up a pen and speak their truth.